All right, this is Kurt Mulligan, Stony Point Fire Department, and we're going to be talking about fire hydrants today. Last month with our virtual drill, we talked about static water supply, and specifically, we talked about drafting out of dry hydrants. So this month, what we want to talk about is more with our water supply through fire hydrants. And throughout the fire district, we know we have a water area, a non-water area. The water area, we have 290 fire hydrants available to our use. So our water company is Suez, and Suez is the same company that you would pay your homeowner water bill to. They also provide the fire hydrants that we use throughout the fire district. So the fire district actually rents the fire hydrants from Suez. So all 290 fire hydrants are rented. The monthly rental is $116.33 per month. So the fire district, to rent these hydrants, ends up paying over $33,000 a month. So they're there for us. Suez maintains them, and as we've seen over the course of the last about 2 years, Suez, with input from the fire service, has changed the fire hydrant that we're using. So Suez, like I said, through research and using it, has switched over to the Sigelock fire hydrant. This is the Sigelock Spartan hydrant. And how they're rolling these out is, if you have a water main replaced, or if you have significant damage, a fire hydrant gets knocked over in a vehicle accident, you'll see that a Sigelock hydrant is replaced. So you could have a whole street of Sigelock hydrants because a water main was done, or we could have one that's sporadically placed because they had to replace a single hydrant. I have no affiliation with either Suez or Sigelock, so this is just really the whole purpose of this is just to educate ourselves on using this new style hydrant. And I'm sure myself and many others are going to refer to these as new hydrants, and that's going to be important for us. So something that I tell myself, if I'm going to assign a piece of apparatus to hook up a hydrant for supply, if I see that it's the new style, I'm going to identify that for that incoming piece of apparatus and tell them that it's a new style hydrant. I would also recommend that to the officer riding in the rig, the driver. If you're going to assign a firefighter to hit one of these hydrants, we should identify it that it's a Sigelock or it's a new style hydrant. Still, throughout our fire district, we have the old style. Like I said, these are being replaced as it happens. We'll get more and more of them. But of those 290 hydrants, a majority are still the old style hydrant. The reason that we want to identify it is because there is unique tools that we need in order to get access and get water out of this fire hydrant. So what we're familiar with and we use on the old style hydrants, our hydrant wrench. It's adjustable for the operating nut and for the caps. So if you look at this hydrant here, the caps, we wouldn't have access to get the cap off, and we also don't have access to get to the operating nut. And we can see the top here, this would be blocked. There's no way to get it in there. So this wrench would not be the preferred tool because it's really useless to us for this hydrant. So what Sigelock has is they designed their own hydrant wrench, and we have them. So when the hydrants were first introduced, we had these yellow hydrant wrenches. As you can see, the sides of the neck on it. As was found, we needed a hydrant wrench with a longer neck, and that's because of the hydrant assist valve that we use. So we go for this, or again, so with these hydrants, our preferred tool is going to be this Sigelock hydrant wrench with the longer neck, and that'll give us, so we can make full turns around the hydrant even with our hydrant assist valve attached to it. So as we've looked at the hydrant, same hookups that we've had. So a 4.5-inch steamer cap on the front, two 2.5-inch caps on each side. It's the same throughout all of our hydrants in the fire district. 4.5-inch threads on front, 2.5-inch threads on each side. In order to operate the hydrant, whatever we're going to do, even if we're going to hook up 2.5, if we're going to hook up to the 4-inch steamer cap, we're going to have to remove this front cap here. So our hydrant wrench, you can see, fits on that cap. We can thread it off. This is going to expose the flag, which has the built-in cover for the operating nut. So slides in, slides out. You see on the top now, we've exposed that operating nut. At this point, we were going to go for our either a flush, if this is what we were hooking up to. Drop that wrench right on, and we can operate. Okay. One of the unique features of the Sigelock hydrant is that with that front cap on, we do not have access to our two side caps. There's a lock. So right now that's locked on. This side just clicked. This side is now locked on. When I take this front 4.5-inch cap off again, I'll show you. As the cap is threaded on, pushes pins. So these pins serve as locks. So without this, with this front cap on, we wouldn't be able to take off our 2.5-inch caps. So for us, when we're filling a piece of apparatus using our fill hose, and we only want access to these 2.5-inch caps, we still got to remember we're taking off that front 4.5-inch cap, the steamer cap, both to get us access to the operating nut, as well as to open up our 2.5-inch threaded cap as well. So some of the other tools that we carry are going to be the same. So we have our hydrant assist valve, a hydrant adapter, and we do have our 2.5-inch fill hose. So again, if we're gonna go filling up a piece of apparatus, like I said, for 2.5, remove our cap, and we can thread on either a 2.5-inch gate, 2.5-inch hose directly. So we can see also with our hydrant wrench, we have access to the lugs here to tighten as needed, right? The hydrant doesn't block our access there at all. We're going to operate through this 2.5-inch. Just got to remember to put that front cap back on. Otherwise, obviously, you're going to have water coming out that front steamer connection. So for our department, right, we have 4-inch hose which stores connections. Right, so we have to go from 4.5-inch threaded connection, that 4-inch stores connection, and we have an adapter here, or our preferred method is the hydrant assist valve. The hydrant assist valve is just a larger adapter as it basically sits right now. I can look up here, I can see through here. I go from 4.5 to 4. That's what I want to accomplish, adapting this hydrant from 4.5 inches to 4-inch. So as it sits, this is ready to go. It's a larger adapter than what I just showed you. Threads on to the hydrant. Again, no interference with the hydrant. I can get to the lugs here to tighten it down as I need. And as I showed you earlier with the black hydrant wrench, we have free and clear movement over the top of the hydrant assist valve. This yellow wrench, shorter neck, it's going to hit the top of the hydrant assist valve. If I was opening this up, I could go take it off, turn, go over it. But like I said, the preferred tool is going to be the larger, this black hydrant wrench with the longer neck to it. At this point, we'd be able to open it up, send our water through as we've always done. Just because the hydrant looks different, right? It's still the same setup from our hydrant assist valve down to the scene. If we're filling up a piece of apparatus off the sides, the 2.5s, same concept that way, just that it's a new style hydrant, and we might see them sporadically throughout the fire district or on a street. We might see the whole street's got them. We'll identify them so that we know that we need those unique hydrant wrench. But when it comes down to operation and hooking it up, we know it's the same. Our hydrant assist valve, 4.5-inch threads, 4-inch hose with stores connections to the scene. Using our 2.5, we can hook up a 2.5 with a gate, no problem. Same operation that way. Take a look around, you'll see them. They'll be popping up. Like I said, they've been putting them in for about 2 years now throughout Suez's operating area. So anywhere that Suez operates, this is the hydrant of choice. So you might see them around. All right, thank you.